Okay, call the meeting to order at 7:07, and we would like to acknowledge we are on the unceded First Nations land of the Hattusat-Chiniki territory. Could I get somebody to approve the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second it.
Move to adopt the minutes of the September 29th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting. Huh? On the wrong one. Move to adopt the minutes of September 18th, 2025 special meeting of council.
We have a seconder, please.
Yeah, I second the motion.
And then go ahead.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move to adopt the minutes of the September 29th regular meeting of council.
Seconder, please.
I second the motion. I'm also having trouble hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Delegations and petitions. I'll let you take it.
Thank you. Vivian from the Comox Strathcona Waste Management is here to present their solid waste management plan. And I will share a screen. Vivian, if you can just say next, and I will go through as needed.
Awesome.
So I will pass this on to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me here this evening. My name is Vivian Shaw. I'm the Senior Manager of the Comox Strathcona Waste Management Service. And we're currently undergoing the solid waste management plan renewal process. If you recall, Sarah Willie was actually there in person about a year ago. I was online supporting, and we want to take this opportunity to let you know what we're at, what we've been up to since, where the plan is at. And this is a time for that next update. So here we go. With where we're at right now, we're currently at what we call step 3B of the plan. And just started to back it up. The solid waste management plan, as you recall, is that long-term vision for solid waste, specific garbage, recycling, and organics. And it's a plan that defines what our programs and services and the infrastructure that we'll need to be focusing on over the next 10-year horizon. And the goal is to really drive up our diversion efforts. We're currently operating using the previously approved 2013 plan. It doesn't seem like that's long ago, but there has been a significant growth both in the Comox Strathcona Regional District and Strathcona Regional District. In the time since we've started the last plan and to where we're now, we've seen an increase of about 13% in population. So we need to make sure that our solid waste management plan is up to date and make sure that we're accounting for those population growth, the changing demands within the different communities, and understanding the different policy shifts at the federal, provincial, and also the local levels here. And just, making sure that we're staying ahead of all of these so that we are planning for the future and not getting caught off guard when it comes to our waste disposal needs. Our ultimate goal here is to meet the provincial obligation to reach 350 kilogram of waste disposed per person per year. We're currently sitting at 551 kilograms per person per year. It's not terrible. We're kind of in the middle of the pack from looking province-wide, but we still have quite a ways to go. So overall, we're currently managing about anywhere between about 65,000 tons of waste actually landfilled per year, and that's where we want to really focus our efforts on in minimizing that. That waste volume. Sorry, next slide. So I've covered that slide off. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, so I've covered off all of those. Sorry, I apologize. Next slide. So, and as I mentioned, we're currently in step 3 of the solid waste management plan renewal process. So we're evaluating options. And we initiated this with our advisory group. There's 15 of members on that group, ranging from residents. And again, these are committee members that are situated throughout our very vast geography. But we have folks that are representing urban, rural, north, south, from different sectors of the, I think we have a member from representing the agricultural business. Mark Tatchell from TASIS is representing the rural and also small community cohort. So we just want to, again, make sure that everybody's interests are represented as we're looking towards this plan forward in this plan, and making sure that everyone's unique needs are reflected within the final plan. So we went out to the public last year to consult on issues, and that needed a bit more depth as we moved on to consultation this year in understanding that those broad approach to strategies and the actions that we're looking to do to improve our diversion. Next slide. As part of this, last Friday was actually the end of our 6-week consultation period, and which began back in early September. So we've been out to every community now across our service area. So that's from Fanny Bay, Hornby, Denman, Courtney, the Comox Valley communities, up to all the way out to Discovery Islands, Cortez, Tathas, and Zeballos. Lindsay was actually in your community on October, I want to say 5th, at the recycling center, talking to folks. So I'll be able to give you a bit more update on that towards the end there. It takes a while to get to everyone, but we held, I think, about 20 events throughout the area, and we had some lovely chats along the way. So we've been asking the public about our 33 actions, which have been rolled up into 8 strategies. And we've been looking to, having those conversations to understand if folks are supporting them and raising awareness around the cost implications for adding these new programs and services. Next slide. Next slide. Sorry, I'm not following this very well. Apologies. So this is the roadmap that we have put together. We believe that the 8 strategies that we have come up with, again, this is compilation over the last 3 years worth of work. They're actually actionable and relatable to how people actually interact with waste in our day-to-day dealings, whether it's at work, within our community, at home, and through construction and demolition and development opportunities. And on the financial side, our board has actually asked us to keep the cost implications reasonable and really emphasizing that user pay model. So the folks that actually are using services actually pay for it. And in the context, just to put it into context, it is a $18 million service that we run every year, and we aim for an increase based on the board's directive, limiting that to 3 to 5% of our operational budget. And for the average household, sorry, that's next slide. So for the average household, that's valued at $670,000. This would equate to approximately an annual increase of $7.50 based on the existing CSWM tax rate. We recognize that this number varies quite widely within our region. So for a house that's half that, then it would be $325 per year on the tax bill, or double that if at the $1.23 million range. So recognizing my time limit here, I won't go through all of the 33 actions today. Sorry, next slide. I won't go through all of the 33 actions today, but I wanted to zero in on the ones that are applicable to Zeballos. And the first one here being supporting reuse. So there are a number of thrift stores, say in the urban centers, but we're still seeing a number of valuable materials that's actually being landfilled. While the board did not support implementing free stores all across the board, they have supported us in terms of pop-up events like clothing swaps and repair cafes, which we'll get into. But it's important to note that reuse facilities really thrive in our rural areas, and we actually have 5 successful free stores that are co-located with CSWM facilities. And for example, I know Zeballos, while you guys don't have a permanent free store, we trialed a clothing swap event in the C2C community meeting that we hosted back in April, and it was a great success and really demonstrating that there is the benefit of that reuse ethos within the community. And so Action 3 here speaks to that, and it is to provide financial support to share sheds so that we can help support this initiative based on the number of residents per community that's is being implemented, where it's being implemented. Next slide, please. This next slide here is to encourage repair. During our public engagement, repair cafes were really clearly identified as an area of high potential, and it was one of the feedback that we heard from Zeballos consultation. While the diversion potential is deemed low, it's about empowering folks to reduce waste, curb consumption, fight planned obsolescence, and building that community resilience. And we have actually hosted a number of these since 2019, starting in Courtney. We have had great success in Campbell River, Cumberland, Denman, Quadra, and we held one recently in Tassus, which is really exciting. And we have, since 2022, since we started tracking this, we've had hundreds of participants and hundreds of items that have been repaired. Again, like I mentioned, repair cafes won't necessarily drastically shift the numbers in terms of diversion, but the benefits are really empowering, and it really helps to shift consumer behavior and teach people the value of resources and advocating for a reduction in consumption. And it's also really cool just to be able to fix things. Next slide. The next piece is around encouraging waste diversion through education and outreach. This strategy we have here is about informing residents, businesses, and our community partners to the importance of waste, which we should be seeing as a resource. Since 2012, we've built a really robust educational strategy to drive behavior change. And we focus on school presentations, landfill tours, and just broad community outreach. Tina is our school educator, and she's been out to the Zeballos community, I think 3 or 4 times now. And it is every time she goes there, it's a really great experience for her, and it's becoming, working with the students. It's been really great to be able to see those teachings passed along. So for the supporting action for this one here, it's about establishing mobile waste source separation equipment to help improve waste diversion at community events. So things like the Northern Games that was hosted in Zeballos last year, the year before, I think. But being able to have waste stations that are ready to go to all the different events throughout this CSWM service area, so that it is easily accessible and just easy for folks to be able to know what to do and be able to apply their knowledge in a practical setting. Next slide. The next one here is really about leading by example in our with our municipal partners. We've introduced organics diversion here at, not here, at the Harmston office, at the CVRD office here. And we are looking to you as municipal partners, as leaders within your community, to consider implementing similar solutions in your municipal buildings. So providing recycling, organics, starting with those inward facing facilities like your public works and your village office, for example. And there are things that we can do to provide support and leadership on things like this. So we have a great support resource in Lindsay Leeson, our community educator, who's been working with us through this transition. Next slide. For construction and demolition waste, this is a big category. So this is really starting to move the needle. Strategy 6 is about diversion in the C&D sector. This represents the second largest category of the material that we receive at our landfill. And based on our audit from 2017, it showed that 18% of the materials that we're landfilling are actually divertible right now. And with existing technologies that are available out there, there is an additional 24% that can further be diverted. So things like shingles, concrete, and carpet. So we're already doing some work in this space. We're diverting drywall, rubble, wood, metal, and things like that. It's specifically in Zeballos, we are successfully diverting metal. But we want to, again, start to move that needle. And there are a number of actions within this strategy that we're looking to propose. So the first one being Action 20. So presenting, this is presenting policy recommendations to local governments to require pre-demolition assessments. So this is really looking to identify opportunities for building relocation or deconstruction before a demolition permit is issued. So really just taking that hard look whether or not there is anything salvageable. Action 21 is requiring that findings from these pre-demolition assessment be followed through. And there's a host of communities that are starting this work. So District of North Vancouver and Victoria, they're leading the charge on this. There is less uptake than had originally anticipated, but we are looking to them to see what small wins that we can get and really understanding the practicality of what can be reused, what can be salvaged, and thereby saving landfill airspace. And Action 23 is looking at supporting local governments through expedited permits for relocation, deconstruction, and move-on projects. We recognize that deconstruction takes longer than demolition, so we want to be able to incentivize that by seeing if there's ways of working with our municipal partners to either fast track these or making it at least much more palatable. And we, again, recognize that you have other resources and constraints and priorities, and we just want to be able to start working with you to understand how we can be part of that overall bigger picture. Next slide, please. This is the last one that we'll touch on. Strategy 7, this is about equalized access to services. As I mentioned earlier, we cover a really large geographical area, and we want to make sure that there is, we recognize that not everybody has the same level of convenience and accessibility. So we, for actions 27 and 29, this is about reviewing the service level standards so that we are able to provide greater understanding of what is being generated and based on the material type and how accessible it is for folks to be able to dispose, recycle, and taking whether it's organics to a composting area. For 29, this one is about requiring businesses to separate their garbage and waste before disposal. So it's, again, understanding that we all generate waste at the end of the day, and there is the need to be able to separate the different waste streams so that we're minimizing the waste across all sectors, not just residences. Next slide. This is just, a picture of the setup from the October 3rd consultation out in Zeballos. And we had a total of 9 folks come by to talk to Lindsay that day. And generally the feedback has been positive. They wanted to get it. Sorry, the general feedback is that they would like to see a free store, opportunity for a compost drop off, and for the compost to be used at the community garden, looking at possibility for battery collection and details on the new transfer stations when it's available. Next slide. Oh, and there, that's the end for my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
It seems like to me that there's a lot to manage within this in a very small community like Zeballos. How are we going to do that?
Yeah, we recognize that there is specifically to the access, there is definitely a lot that we need to consider. In terms of the convenience level standard, it's about providing access. And we've done some work in this space to evaluate the type of materials, and it's based on just prevalence in our daily lives. And it's really about providing that convenience for folks to do the right thing. And by doing the right thing, we can keep materials out of the landfill. So the accessibility component is definitely one aspect of it. But in terms of that broader, there's lots of strategies within this, and these are just the ones that are applicable to kind of the smaller rural communities. We recognize that this is going to take some time. This is, again, over a 10-year horizon. So we're not anticipating that this is all going to be done on day one. There are resources, say, for example, some of the construction and demolition waste work. There's work that we can leverage from the folks that are leading the charge, for example. But yeah, this is going to take time. We're not fooling ourselves. We're not going to get it all done right away, but we are planning on chipping away at this so that we can start to, again, move the needle on diversion.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Copeland. You're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you for that briefing. That was really good. I appreciated that. I don't have a great understanding of the recycling, but I do have a couple of questions that maybe I could get answered by council, but seeing as you're here and so nice to us, I'll ask you. For example, the deconstruction issue, we don't have staff to do that. That's just a blanket statement from me. Maybe there are positions, I don't know. That's one issue that needs to be concerned. The other one is convenience for people. For example, there are specialty items that are not processed locally that have to be taken to, I'm assuming, Campbell River or Comox. That just encourages people not to use the system, and that affects the industrial people as well. People who are running businesses here are utilizing the existing facilities for the recycling, let's say cardboard, for example. And of course, there's much more cardboard generated by industry than there is in private homes, generally speaking. In Zeballos, people order everything online. So there's cardboard coming out of everybody's house, crazy. We find that we're getting backlogged for pickup, short of space for select items, and no facilities for some of the more dangerous, maybe deep frying oil, as an example. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll address the two questions. We recognize that the deconstruction component is definitely a much bigger undertaking, and we don't pretend to. Yeah, that isn't it isn't going to be a lot of work. So for the construction and the deconstruction policies, we would be looking to do a lot of that work here within our office, and to be able to share those bylaws and so that we can, again, also working so that we're all singing from the same songbook as well. We are that resource that you can pull on so that we can start to work together and move in that right direction. And that so within the solid waste management plan, that 750 that would be added to the tax bill, that based on the average home of what 670,000. So recognizing that the average home prices in Zeballos, I think, is probably about half that. So all of that would be encompassed within that tax bill. You guys can use us as resources so that we can start to provide, that we can provide support in that regard. To your second question around the convenience level standard, and you're absolutely right. It is about providing greater accessibility. When it's easy, people will do the right thing. And when we were assessing the convenience level standard, it is evaluated based on material type, their hazard level, and how much we actually want to keep them out of the landfill. So for your example, the cooking oil, the question that we had at the consultation for batteries. So these are things that we want to make sure that people aren't necessarily hoarding, and so that we're continuing to move those out of the community. We recognize that COVID has changed a lot of our buying behaviors, more so than we already were, perhaps. The Amazon way of consuming is very prevalent in our day-to-day life, and recognizing that that cardboard is a big portion of the material that is being disposed of, and we need to be able to recycle that properly. So as part of this exercise, we're really diving down and looking at the amount of waste by category so that we can better fine-tune the transport so that we have greater efficiencies and that we're actually meeting the needs of the community. Specifically on the cardboard issue that you spoke of, we just got a new contractor for the transport of materials in and out of communities, and it is something that we are looking at addressing.
Thank you very much.
Any further questions?
Councillor Deck has his hand up.
Oh, Councillor Deck?
Thank you, Chair. No, I'm not sure, Vivian, if you can help us with this, but in Zeballos recycling station, it would be very helpful if people could read the signs and put the proper recycles in the proper bins. My wife pulls her hair out every time we go down there, and I thought I was under the understanding people were going to try to cooperate and recycle, but some people just don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges that we see in unstaffed depots. We do have a member from the village that does do the checks, but without somebody that's providing that oversight 24/7, or sorry, while the depot is open. And again, like it's not reasonable to expect in the size of your community, because I think the recycling depot is open Monday to Saturday for the majority of the day. It's not overstaffed. Sorry, it's not staffed to provide that oversight for that entire duration. And that's part of the reason why we've actually had to shut down. We had roughly about 20, I think, unstaffed depots throughout the CSWM service area, and we've had to close them down. We only have one remaining, and that one is also being converted to a properly staffed depot. We recognize the challenge in that, but it's also needing to balance between the cost of providing that oversight So we can certainly work with village staff to see where we can do to improve either signage, better to be able to encourage better sorting of materials. And to your point, like when recycling is contaminated, it really diminishes the marketability of the materials. And as the service provider, we can get fined from Recycle BC. So it is really imperative that we do that education and provide that feedback so that people understand that feedback loop and what it actually means in terms of, otherwise it negates the efforts of everyone else that is doing the right thing.
Okay, no further questions? We thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye now. No correspondence. Business arising from minutes. Staff report.
Thank you. So this is just a wrap up of the meetings that Councillor Copeland, Mayor Colburn, and I were able to attend at the UBCM convention in September this year. So it's the meetings that we had and what we heard from the ministers in those meetings. And staff is looking for some direction out of this to move forward. Outside of the report, we do have Councillor Copeland here. Was there anything you'd like to add about the UBCM convention that wasn't enclosed in this report?
Thank you, CEO. No, I think the report covered everything quite nicely. The only thing that's hard to portray is the acceptance of our presence. How valuable that meeting is to meet the ministers, meet the people running the other municipalities. That's hard to put across in the report. I understand that, but that's why I just wanted to verbalize it. That the importance of the UCBM, that it's fantastic to send people down there and meet the ministers and the other players as well. So I think the report covers it quite nicely. It softens some of the, I think the report softens some of our uncertainty as to how it was received. I mean, we're dealing with politicians, right? So a handshake and a smile doesn't mean yes. So in answer to your question, no, I don't see anything else that you've missed. I think the report puts it quite nicely. I just want to stress the importance of attending.
And we have 2 recommended motions.
I would like to make a motion. The staff prepared letter to the Premier and Ministries and BC Hydro, thanking them for taking the time to meet us and to align understandings of the results of those meetings.
Yep.
Second. Any further discussion on it? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Like to make a second motion that staff correspond with the primary industrial users of the Zeballos Fair Harbor Forest Service Road, Ministry of Forest staff, and the primary road maintenance contractors for letters of support on a single contractor model for road maintenance up on the FSR.
Second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. The fire department October operations.
Correct.
Second.
We do have Fire Chief Warren here, so if there's any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Fire Chief Moore? And next report. Next report is the Public Works monthly operations. Any questions for our Public Works foreman? Had some help? Everyone's good. Moving on to the CAO's monthly operations report. Any questions for our CAO? Moving on to the auction staff report on the possible auction of the Ford F-550 garbage truck. Discussion.
We do have one recommendation, and it's the village advertised the 2000 Ford F-550 for sale with an upset price of $5,000 through a sealed bid process available to the public and a closing date of December 1st, 2025. This is very similar to the other vehicle that we disposed of earlier this year.
I move that recommendation as stated by the CEO.
Do I have a seconder?
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Fire department staff report.
Do have Chief Warren here. If there are any questions to do with the self-contained breathing apparatus and this report, Chief Warren's worked together with John Baker out of Campbell River, Sean Koopman, our protective services manager, and myself. And I do endorse this request.
Get somebody to move the recommendation.
I'd like to move that as part of the Village of Zeballos ongoing work in relation to fire safety, that an application for financial assistance under the Community Emergency Preparedness Fund 2025 Volunteer and Composite Fire Department Equipment and Training Grant be authorized for submission to the UBCM. And that the Zeballos
Second the motion.
and that the Zeballos Fire Department? Is that right?
No.
And that the Zeballos agrees to commit to overall grant management if the application is successful.
Now I second that.
There we go. Sounds great.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
All right.
New business?
I can speak to this.
Thank you, CAO.
So Mayor Colborne asked for this to be on the agenda, just so that we are able to get the information out of who to contact if there's any concerns or questions on road conditions during the strike action. And obviously an opportunity for council to discuss.
Any discussion for council?
I had a question about that. How come when our road is maintained by contractors that we are part of the strike action?
That's a good question. Perhaps it's solidarity, perhaps it's something in their contract.
Because I know none of them are on strike. So it would seem that they could continue to do their job, in my opinion, but I bet it's contractual. Thank you.
I can read that out or to get.
Yeah.
Okay, council in camera under section 92B, the consideration of information received held in confidence related to negotiations between the municipality and provincial government or the federal government or both, or between the provincial government or the federal government or both and the third party.
I'll second that.
And public question period, there's,
Discussion.
oh. Go ahead. Which discussion on?
On the motion to go in camera.
Oh. I can't remember that part.
Or all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye. They said it.
The public question period,
Nobody here?
nobody here.
Over here.
It's a motion to adjourn.
Second that too. Okay.
Call question. All in favor?
Aye. We're adjourned.